What up, YouTube world? It's your boy Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm back with another Raw review, Raw talk, Raw stuff that's going on today, tonight, officially, well, yesterday, last night. Officially, Raw went back to 2 hours. Raw will be going 2 hours until next year. Till next year when they go to Netflix, and then they're gonna go however long they want, I guess. Uh, So for 2 hours of Raw, I will say that I wish it was 3 hours. I ain't gonna hold you. I always, since Triple H has taken over, I have loved 3 hours of Raw, and it was good stuff all 3 hours. But now it's 2 hours, and there's a lot of talking, a lot of segments, not a lot of wrestling. So I kind of wish that Raw was still 3 hours, but it is what it is. Um, we had, was it last night or the night before? I think it was Saturday. They had their pay per view in Atlanta, Bad Blood, and Jimmy Uso comes back to save his Us, to get that win on Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, and not only that, The Rock returned. My goat. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. I love The Rock. He's the reason why I started watching wrestling. So he will always forever be my goat, my favorite wrestler of all time. And I was so excited when he came back. I was screaming like a small child, and I am not sorry about it. Also, SmackDown was a thing, but I don't. There was nothing really on SmackDown besides AJ Styles. AJ Styles came and opened the show, said what was next for him, saying that he wants some gold. He said he knows last time he was gone, it was bad terms, but he readjusted and he's gonna get back on the place that AJ Styles built. That's when Mello comes in. Mello says, you're old, you're washed. You can't get in the title contention because I am number one contender in the title contention because I beat Andrade 3 times, even though he beat me 3 times first, but we're not going to talk about those 3 times. And then so AJ was like, "Well, if you're so phenomenal, how about you prove it to the ring with me?" Uh, because I think he said because Mello said to AJ, he was like, "Oh, if you're so phenomenal, why haven't you been WWE champion? Now why is Cody the champ?" And he was like, "Oh, well, if you were so good as you said you was, why aren't you United States champion right now? Why is it LA Knight? Yeah." And then LA Knight comes out, he just talks, and then that's gonna give you Mello versus AJ. AJ gets injured. I don't know if it's storyline injured because he's old and stuff like that. They're doing a he's old angle, but yeah, they called off the match. Uh, and then Mello was backstage with my boy uh, Nick Aldis. He was like, "See, I beat him. I win. I'm the best. Uh, where's my title shot?" He was like, "Well, you didn't beat him." He said, "If you can beat AJ, you didn't really beat him. He got injured." He was like, "I see the same thing." He said, "We'll talk about that later. I got some other stuff to discuss." I think there was the dumpster match that was on there, which was good. That was good. That when we talk about good stuff, that was good stuff. That match with Michin and Chelsea Green, Chef's Kiss, Mia Yim, Michin gets the win, and we like those because we like Michin getting W's out here. Michin, if there's still this mid card title floating around that we want to get, give it to Michin. She's great. Or give it to Chelsea Green because she's also great. So that was good stuff. We like all of those. Um, After the match, Chelsea got when she got dumpstered, she was backstage, and Piper Niven was like holding her nose. She was like, "Oh, it's not that bad," and everybody was smelling. "Oh, you stink! You smell bad." Austin Cake for some reason, Austin Theory for some reason had a cake in his hand. He was like, "Oh my god, does my cake smell bad?" And then Waller was like, "No, it's Chelsea Green." It was hilarious. So yeah, that was SmackDown. Uh, there was some stuff that was going on with Cody and Kevin Owens, who also showed up, which was also hilarious. He showed up after the show, after Rock came. I guess Cody was going to do a press conference, and then he didn't. He ended up not doing it, and it was shown that Kevin Owens uh, whooped Cody's ass. So that was hilarious. So that was that. The Hell in a Cell match with Drew and CM Punk on Saturday. We talking about Chef's Kiss. That match was phenomenal. Man, if we're talking about, I don't know if Dave Meltzer is going to give that 5 stars, but if he does, man, I can see, man, I can see why. That was one of the best Hell in a Cell matches. Probably top five. I'd have to go through it because there was a lot of good Hell in a Cell matches. That one would be one. The one with Cody and Seth a couple of years ago. The New Day one with New Day and Usos. That one was really, really, really good and really, really, really creative. End of an era. The one with Triple H and the Undertaker was really good, especially from like a storytelling part. That was really good. Maybe it's hard to think because there are a lot of solid ones, old solid ones, man. The I think Taker Brock Lesnar was in the Hell in a Cell like from like 2003. I think 2003. I think that was a Hell in a Cell match. Taker Edge was really good. Um, yeah, man. There's been some good Hell in a Cell matches, but those are the six I can remember. I mean, of course, the Undertaker Shawn Michaels one. That one was fine. It was really good, but we've outgrown that one. Same for like I think it was like Mankind and Undertaker. Of course, you can't forget that Hell in a Cell. That was crazy, but that was almost live murder on television. So again, so there's a lot of good Hell in a Cells, man. That one's up there with some of the best of them. And CM Punk does open the show, uh, and he talks about him not knowing what to do next because his body went through it, man. He went through it. So did Drew, man. That match was great. He thanked three people. He thanked his fans, the ones who's been with him from the very beginning, since after the 7 years when he was away from wrestling, when they was chanting CM Punk all these years, and then after the 3 years after he came back after he was wrestling, they're still on his side. He said he likes to thank his family and friends, um, and then he thanked his haters because you made him very, very rich. So, of course, the next pay per view, PLE, is Saudi Arabia, and CM Punk is not going to be there. He's not going to wrestle there. So he said he doesn't know what's going to be next for him, but he'll see what happens, and then of course, burn it down. So see, Seth Rollins comes out, of course. So of course that's going to be his next thing. Maybe that'll be his next thing. Maybe it won't. But yeah, he interrupts CM Punk, kind of looks at him for a little bit and just laughs in his face, and then he leaves. And then he said, "Hey, CM Punk, I hope you come back quick because when you come back, I want to be the one to take you out and put you on retirement for good." So I think he kind of was kind of hoping he came back, and also at the same time wanted to put him back in retirement, which was hilarious. But then he moved past him and said, "Brunson Reed, uh, you want your 15 minutes of fame? I'm gonna give you your 15 minutes of fame," and issued him to a challenge. I guess it was tonight, but instead Jay Uso comes. Uso, big pop for the big man. Jay Uso, who has a match against Braun Breaker. They kind of stared at each other a little bit because it was kind of poetic that happened because he was saying a lot of things happened when he left. He said when he got attacked, he said CM Punk and Drew beat the heck out of each other. That's when he said he wanted to come back. He was talking about the thing that happened with Cody Rhodes helping Roman Reigns, the Rock coming back, and he also mentioned Kevin Owens getting beat up by, which is we'll talk about that in a second. But Kevin Owens also getting beating up Cody Rhodes. Kevin Owens beating up Cody Rhodes in the back. It's kind of interesting throughout the whole show. That's kind of been the thing, where it's like Kevin Owens beat up Cody Rhodes, and it's like it's kind of this forbidden thing that you like you're not supposed to talk about. He mentioned it a little bit, but he said he wasn't supposed to talk about it. Wade Barrett on commentary kind of like tried to talk about it a little bit, but Joe was like, don't can't talk about that right now. Don't worry about it. Just know, we'll talk about that more on SmackDown. Even Cody Rhodes, when he was backstage, he was doing a thing with Sami Zayn when he said he was going to be. He said he wanted to face him for the title. He's going to face him for the title because he's going to beat Gunther. Spoiler alert, he didn't. He was like, "Hey, I know the things going on with Kevin Owens. I can probably help you. You need somebody to talk about it." I was like, "Nah, don't want to talk about it." Just like I think Kathy tried to talk to him about it, or Jackie. I don't remember which one it was. He was like, "I don't want to talk about it. I'm here for Gunther. I'm here for the champion versus champion thing. That's it. I don't want to talk about anything else. We'll talk about that on Friday." So it's kind of like this forbidden thing that they want to keep under wraps, I guess, until they want you to tune in on Friday to see what's going to go on with that. So that was interesting a little bit how that went down. But Seth and Jay kind of looked at each other. Seth kind of was like, "Ugh, you," because I think. Oh well, Jay wasn't. I don't think Jay was. Oh, it was weird because Jay wasn't really part of that thing because he got good like the year before, so he wasn't really part of that thing afterwards. And I guess I thought they were cool because Seth faced Jay for the world title. He gave him that shot, and that was the whole thing when Drew was mad because like you're giving somebody like Jay Uso a title, but not me, even though Seth had beat him like 25 times before then. So that was kind of interesting the way he kind of looked at him, and he kind of went like that for a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if Jay's next, not next opponent, but like his feud, like his next big feud would be with Seth Rollins. That would be interesting to see what happens. It'll also be interesting to see what happens after Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn won't be facing Gunther because he lost that. The only title is the one that Jay has. It'd be interesting. It is interesting that Jey Uso is now Intercontinental Champion because like all these people that were like maybe behind him or kind of cool with him, now he's the champion, and now he has that target on his back, and they can always, for somebody like Seth to be like, hey, yeah, we were cool. That was when he wasn't the champion. Now you're not. Now that you're champion, we kind of ain't cool because you still part of that bloodline type stuff. So that's gonna all be interesting. Also, was interesting was this match with him and uh, Woods. The match was good for what it was. It wasn't long. I think that's why it wasn't. It would be interesting what would happen if it was longer. It wasn't. It was like they went through a commercial, like through a ad break, but it kind of like I don't know. It just wasn't long enough. I think that's what it all came down to. Because he was in Woods was in control a lot of the match, and then out of nowhere he went to go do a something from the top rope. He got caught with a super kick, hit with the Uso splash, and then that was it. And then after the match, Uso he was trying to try to be like, hey Woods, you did good, try to shake his hand, but Woods was like, nah, we're not about that right now. Which was interesting because of course the New Day and the Usos, no matter what happened throughout any of their careers, whether with the Bloodline or without the Bloodline, or what they was doing, the Hell in a Cell match that I mentioned earlier, they've always had respect for each other. Like the Usos were the ones that didn't fight the New Day when they had all those challenges before them because they have respect for them. Uh, and they want to go war, and that's when the whole Kofi Mania thing was a thing. And then Woods is being like, nah, man, forget that stuff. I'm not with it. And then even after that, they was going to leave. Jay was celebrating, and out of nowhere, boom, spear to your boy Uso. And then Kofi was like, "Hey, come on, we gotta help him." He was like, "Nah, that's not our business." But before, he would help him, but now it's like, "Nah, that's not our business." Kofi, helping anyway. He goes to help him, and then he spears him, goes around, spears Woods. He takes out Jay, spears him back, and then that was it. So that was interesting. So I guess no more nice Braun. So you got Braun Breaker, who's probably going to get his rematch. He's probably still going to lose that rematch. You got Seth Rollins, who he did a stare down with. Probably got Sami Zayn. You got probably some people from the Judgment Day, because Judgment Day will probably be looking for more gold. So you'll probably have people in Judgment Day, and he's still kind of connected with Mommy and Priest. So Jay Uso got him some. He got him some matchups to look forward to as Intercontinental Champion. So that's going to be good stuff. Um, yeah, that was good stuff. A bait and switch. Next match was a good old fashioned Donnybrook match with Sheamus and Pete Dunne. This match was good. It would have been better if Pete Dunne would have won. Because the whole thing was Pete Dunne was disrespecting Sheamus, because Sheamus wasn't respecting him, calling him Butch and playing all these games. And I mean, if Pete Dunne would have won, I mean, it would have, that would have shut all that down. But and I thought he was gonna win towards the end. He had him handcuffed. He handcuffed him. He was beating him with the bat, the cricket bat thing. I was like, oh, they're gonna let him win. They're gonna let him take him out. Nah, man. Sheamus comes in with the kneecap, and then a bro kick, and then pin him with his hands tied behind his back. So, I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what's gonna be next for Pete Dunne unless they put him back in NXT. Where it's like you just lost. Like you just lost the fit. Like you didn't just lose. Like bro, you lost with somebody had his hands tied behind his back. So are they saying that that he's not going to be on TV now because it's only 2 hours? He won't be on TV any longer. I mean, he can't say that he can go for the Intercontinental title. It'd be cool if he would have been in that Intercontinental title picture too. But it looks like maybe Sheamus is going to be in there. I don't know, but the match was fine for what it was. Hard hitting, brutal. Pete Dunne should have won. Um, they did a spot where Sheamus did the white noise through the table. Um, Pete Dunne was beating him on top of kickstands. It was good. He did a cross face on the shillelagh. Um, yeah, it would have just been nice if he would have won. Next up, there's a lot of video packages and backstage stuff that was going on. They did Rhea Ripley video package saying that she's not done with Liv Morgan. Uh, Liv Morgan and Dom and them was on the show, and they were like, "Oh, we're great, we're the best." Um, you know, I said that I was smarter than Rhea. Well, Liv said, "Hey," she said she was smarter than Rhea. No, she might have technically beat me by disqualification, even though that was not supposed to happen. She said, but I still got the Women's World Championship. I still got Dirty Dom. Still got the Judgment Day. And now I got Raquel Rodriguez. So I still win. So she said, everybody, let's go. We're out of here. And then Jackie tried to ask uh, uh, Raquel if she's part of Judgment Day now, and she just left and they drove away. So that was that. They did a video. There was like another. Oh, they did another video package for AOP, the Viking package. They did one of those. So now we can now officially. People still think, I don't know why, it's Penta and Ray Phoenix. It's not them, and it never was them. Um, they're still in AEW, so and contracted there. So we know it's not them, and it was never going to be them. It's the Viking Raiders. So that's that. They did a backstage thing where Ava. NXT general manager Ava was she was talking with Pierce, and Pierce was like, I guess they was talking about something big that's happening in NXT tomorrow, and I'll talk about how that happened. Uh, Ethan Page comes in. I was like, oh, Ethan Page, that's what's up. Ito, my boy Ethan Page makes Monday Night Raw. He said, I came here to complain to you about one of your employees, CM Punk, cost me my title. Is the reason why I'm not champion right now. He was like, oh, well, that's not a thing for me. That's NXT thing. Got to talk to Ava. Ava's like, I'm on my day off. Leave me alone. She was like, well, if you're not here, why'd you come? Who'd you come here for? And it was Sexy Red, who opened up the show, and I forgot she was there until the segment. So she did open up the show. People cheered for Sexy Red because they're in her home state. They're in St. Louis, where she's from. She's going to be there because tonight she's performing in St. Louis. And she was like, oh, so she comes backstage. She's back there. She was like, oh, who are you? She's like, you look so familiar. It's like, really? You know who I was like, oh, yeah, you the one that got whooped by Trick. He was like, oh, you. It was like, anyways. Well, we'll talk about this tomorrow. So he leaves. She's like, well, whatever, forget him. Whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. Anyways, and then there was another video package with Bianca and Jade. They're saying, "Hey, you guys, we'll give you your due. You guys have been champions. You guys deserve it. You've been killing it in the tag team division. EO, you got one up on me, but nah, it's not gonna happen again. These titles, they're staying with us because we run this show. So." And they also talked about they're going to be on NXT tonight too, because they're going to be in that 6-woman tag team match against the Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and my girl Jasmine Nix. I think that's Jasmine Nix. I think it is, and she's going to be teaming with Kalani Jordan. So they're definitely 100% winning that match. So that's all that happened. I think. I can be wrong. I'm going to look real quick, but I think that's all the talking stuff that happened. Yeah, I think that was it for the talking stuff. And then there was a 10-woman tag team match. It was Pure Fusion Collective and Unholy Union versus Natalia and Friends. Pretty much what it was. And then the match was what it was. And uh, yeah, not Isla Dawn Online. Uh, my girl Lyra Valkyria, she's the one that gets the pin on Sonya Deville. Pure Fusion Collective is trash. Uh, they need they need Shayna Baszler front and center. We need NXT Shayna Baszler. I keep saying this. NXT Shayna Baszler front and center, leading those two to new heights because she's the greatest. So that happened. That was what happened then. Um, so again, this is why I wish that 2 hours was 3 hours because they would have fleshed this stuff out more. Um, but they didn't do it because you had to jam all your women in the same place. Your top women was doing video packages, and now you got your other women doing that instead of having like where you could have did Pure Fusion Collective versus Lyra and what's her face, Lyra and Kaden and Katana. You could have did that, and then had the surprise returns for that. Could have did that, but you can't do that. You have to have everybody in the same time because 2 hours. So I think there was a thing on Twitter that the Judgment Day said they were also wasn't done, or Finn Balor said he also wasn't done with Damian Priest. Oh, they did a backstage segment with Truth and Miz and Karrion Kross. Miz was talking to Kross about, hey, you had to do what you had to do. Yeah, and then uh, Truth comes in. He was like, hey, tell me it was a misunderstanding. He was like, look, I told you I'm not in Judgment Day anymore. It's like, Truth, I don't care about that. He was like, "Look, I'm going to get you a match next week." And then Miz was like, that right there is the problem. You want to put me in matches. You want to put everybody in matches without consulting with me. Well, this time I'm going to consult a match. It's going to be me versus you next week, which Miz is probably going to win. So that is that. And then the main event was Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Um, yeah, the match was good. It was good stuff. It probably, I know a lot of people was complaining about the match not being on the PLE. I'm not gonna lie. This match probably should have been on the PLE. That's what I. This match should have probably been on the PLE. I think it's gonna be difficult with these 2 hours, but I think you would have put this match in the PLE. It would have made it the show from like it was here. The show was here. It probably would have brought it up here. But you would have opened with that great Hell in a Cell match. Nia and Bailey, they did what they could do. It was fine. It was what it was. But then, after that, then you do Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Good stuff. That brings it back up. And then you do Liv versus Rhea, which was good, but you do it better without the botched finish. And then you do the main event, and then that's a good 5 card. But that Damian Priest and Finn Balor match, you could have put that on this week's Raw. You could have opened the show with this match. You could have did that. You had the stuff with Seth Rollins. You could have did that, and then you could have did like the Judgment Day. Like the Judgment Day comes out, and it's like because Seth and Finn, they have that beef. They have that stuff. So you do that, kind of go back with, oh, Seth going to get involved with Finn Balor? Is that going to be his next thing after Damian Priest? You do that, you go, oh, is that next for him? And then you have that match, and then Damian Priest still wins, or maybe like Seth Rollins gets involved or whatever like that. Kind of Seth Rollins helps Damian Priest, and then after you do that, then you do Damian Priest goes world title. Finn Balor goes to Seth Rollins, you do that, it keep the Judgment Day involved in that good stuff. And then you make the title match the main event, the IC title match main event. Jay and Woods, you give that some extra time. Give that a little bit of extra time, and then you still do the same thing that you do in the beginning and the end. Braun Breaker comes out, Spears Jay Uso, New Day, well, it's Kofi Kingston New Day. He helps. He gets a spear. Then you spear uh, Woods, and then you go back. Boom! Spear Jay Uso, end the show. Him Intercontinental title in the air, and then that's how you end the show. That would have been great stuff. I'm just saying. You take out the match, which was fine, but you take the match out, and then you do like a backstage segment that you had Sami in because he already lost, so you don't got to worry about that match. You don't have to worry about that segment. You do, hey, Cody Rhodes is here. Cody Rhodes is like, hey, I'm not here about that. I'm here for the title. Me and Gunther. Then Gunther pops up. They do a little interaction or they stare at each other. That's it until next week, and then you go next week. Then you build the Cody and Gunther stuff. But it was what it was. The match was good. It probably should have used that pay per view slot. Uh, Sammy, of course, big underdog. He was getting whooped like a government mule. He was kicking out at one on stuff. He got power bomb because I think he got clotheslined and then power bombed because he got clotheslined and he kicked out at two and then he got power bombed, kicked out at one, and then he choked him out. For like 2-3 minutes. He had him in that chokehold because he had like a lot of hope spots for the chokehold. But finally, it was too much. Sami Zayn passes out, and still world heavyweight champion, Gunther. So that was good stuff. And then when he was about to leave, Cody Rhodes comes out, and then they stare at each other, and that's how you end the show. Which we could have did that during the show, and with Braun Breaker because we already know I feel like this is a thing where Triple H learned about this like not that long ago that they was going to do the thing, do that title thing, because he probably wanted to announce something else. He was like, "Oh, Saudi Arabia is coming up," and they was like, "Hey, we have an idea." He couldn't say no, so then he had to switch things up. So he had to switch things up, which is why Braun Breaker went back to bad person. Is probably why he went back to bad person, and why they didn't have the match at Raw. So that's probably why it happened the way it happened. But I would have, that's just what I would have done. But anyways, um, that was the show. That was Raw. That was sort of SmackDown. That was sort of the pay per view, the PLE. Um, yeah. They got interesting stuff happening next week. I think they said it's going to be um Bianca and Jade, two of the big three versus Damage Control for the tag team titles. Um, Miz versus Truth. I think there was another match that was announced, but I don't remember what it was. There's another match announced for next week. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, that was the show. Let me just look real quick to see what other matches was listed. Oh, Braun Breaker versus Kofi Kingston. That match was also listed. That match was announced because of what happened last week. So those are the matches going to be happening next week. Um, And that was the show. What did you guys think? Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think about 2 hours? Do you like it better? Do you wish it was going back to 3 hours, or wish it stayed at 3 hours? Flesh out. That's how you flesh out those characters, man. Can't do that in 2 hours. So I hope everybody knows that now. Watch out for NXT tonight. It's going to be Randy Orton versus Javon Evans. Javon Evans is so great. He's fantastic. The match is going to be great. He's going to get RKO from like a flippy dippity thing. It's going to happen. It's going to be great. We're gonna see the stuff that's gonna happen with Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez retains over Giulia last week because of help from Cora Jade. Cora Jade said, "Hey, I like this new you." So, are they gonna go after the tag team titles? Are the Cora Jade? I think Cora Jade is gonna be North American champion after this. I think she's gonna get that North American title. Um, I think Julia, or not Julia, Stephanie Vacour is probably going to be next for Roxanne Perez, and they probably do Cora Jade versus Julia. So we'll see how that happens, how that plays out. Unless they do, instead of they do a tag team match, instead of doing that, they do a tag team match with Julia and Stephanie versus Roxanne and Cora Jade, and then that'll be interesting to see how that happens because Cora Jade gonna lose her first match back? Is Stephanie Vacour gonna lose her debut match? That'll be interesting. And also Delta's coming too, so we'll see what happens with that. What else is coming in tonight? I think the 6 woman tag match with Bianca Victory Bianca and Kalani versus the other, I forget the name of their group, but not Toxic Attraction. That match. They're gonna do that match. Obafemi versus uh, Tony D for the North American title. I think Trick Williams is gonna be there. He's gonna talk. What else is happening? What else is going on in NXT? NXT. Oh, wait, hold up. I'm just looking. Oh, Fraxium are defending the titles against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Uh, so that's a match that's happening. I don't know if there's any other matches, but they just said I'm gonna play this because I just looked on this and it just said that Shawn Michaels and Triple H has an important message regarding NXT. Special report. My fellow Americans. Oh, they're doing the thing where they did the ODX when it was in person. Okay, they're doing it again. See the. Oh Lord. I'm dead. Ratio. This is crazy. It's gonna be Ohio cinema. Hilarious. Okay, so I thought that was going to do something special for NXT tonight. They did a State of the Union. It's kind of it was just tongue in cheek. It's the same thing that they did a couple of years ago. Well, not a couple of like decades ago when the network told them that they're not supposed to be cursing, and then they went on network and cursed profoundly. And now they're just pretty much said, "Oh, this time we make the rules, so we could do whatever we want." So they were just poking. They're just poking fun at the internet, saying, talking about them using rap in their on their theme songs and the music and stuff like that. It was like, oh, what happened to the old stuff? And they're just pretty much saying that we're gonna keep doing it, so get over it. So that's actually hilarious. But yeah, that's the show. That's what's happening on NXT that I can remember. Uh, watch that show. That show is fantastic. I love NXT, and also I will be remiss if I didn't say I think I think Dynamite is also tonight. I don't know what they're doing on Dynamite, but I think that show is also tonight. So watch what you watch. I'm going to be watching. Well, I got to work later, so I'm going to be watching at work NXT. So that's just me. I like WWE. I don't know what you want me to do about it. I probably watch AEW after what's tonight? Yeah, I'll probably watch it after because I'm going to do stuff. So I'll probably watch it later after everything's done. But what did you guys think of the show? Let me know in the comments below. See you guys in the next one. I'm out.